Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Let's go to the Far East, and we have Gordon Chang and his Twitter handle at Gordon G. Chang. You'll know about what's going on 24 hours a day. Well, Gordon, there's so many things happening. What the heck? People are waiting for you to hear what's going on.
Well, you have so much going on in Asia right now. So, for instance, the Chinese are engaging in very belligerent activities against the Philippines at Scarborough Shoal. They used water cannon on a Philippine vessel that was carrying some CNN camera crews. But the big thing is the Chinese economy right now. It's the story that won't go away. China is not growing at the 4.3% pace that they reported. It's probably 1, maybe 0, maybe -1. We got unemployment more than 20% in the cities. It's a mess, and I think it's driving a lot of China's belligerence. We have Xi Jinping going to come to Washington on September 24th. There's a lot of discussions now between the United States and China over just about everything. And I imagine they're also talking about Iran, because we know from open source reporting that the Chinese have been helping the Iranians with all sorts of things, and the Iranians have been using that assistance to kill Americans.
You know, that I wanted to pick up where you are there, Gordon, on that, because I've seen a whole bunch of reporting of late that they've been supplying some, either whether it's the weaponry or even some of the intel, they in Russia, to pinpoint not just some specifics about U.S. bases that might be not be widely known, but also CIA sites. That's really troubling.
Yes, well, China has allowed Iran to take over at least 1, probably 2 of its satellites that have been used for precise targeting. And the reason why that's important was because on March 1, we lost 6 service members in Kuwait at the port. That was 99.9999% the result of Chinese targeting. Also, it's almost certain that the Chinese targeting has resulted in other deaths since then. This is not a good situation. President Trump was asked about this today. He said that the Chinese and the Russians were not supplying weapons, but he didn't talk about data. And that's exactly what you're talking about, Rita.
You know, it's so interesting. I noticed that, Gordon. His language was very careful to say, I don't have evidence of the weaponry, but he left out all the other kind of ways you can facilitate.
Yes, and we know that in March that China Iran fired off the CM-302 Chinese missiles at the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group. Fortunately, none of them hit their targets, but those were Chinese weapons.
Well, Gordon, it's Richard Weinberg. Good to talk to you. Which raises a question. Trump's language, very careful, but we know what they're doing. What are we going to do about it to deter it?
You gotta ask Trump about that. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm sure there are a lot of conversations that are occurring, especially between Secretary of State Rubio and Foreign Minister Wang Yi, which just took place about a couple days ago. But if it were me, I'd be doing a lot more. I would not have Xi Jinping come to the White House. When you have any country participating in the killing of Americans, you do not invite their leader in a ceremony of honor at the Capitol.
Good point.
Yeah, Gov. Patterson, what else are your thoughts to Gordon?
Well, that's really it, Gordon. It's just that I think sometimes the president wants to kind of be fair to everyone, even at times when he's being unfair. But the reality is that's just not the way to let another country who's already doing things to you behind your back know that they can come to the White House and have tea and that kind of thing.
Well,
and meanwhile,
remember what he did to him last time. In Mar-a-Lago, he was having tea, he was having dessert, he's ready to have ice cream, and the president gets up and says, by the way, by the way?
I just struck wherever it was. You may be aware, I just pounded I think one of the locations. Syria. Yes, Syria. So funny. Syria. I was going to say Syria, Gordon. Right? He said, "Excuse me, could you pass the cream?" Oh, by the way, I just hit Syria. Anyway, it definitely sent a message that Trump is in control, and it was certainly a very powerful message.
But we're not in control now.
Beautiful chocolate cake, the world's most tasty chocolate cake. And Xi Jinping actually was on good behavior for a few years after that, because Trump really just took him off his game.
Judge Weinberg?
But Gordon, we're not in control now. If they're doing this with impunity and they're killing our people, this has to stop. And it has to be a clear message. Whatever the device is to stop them from doing this, it has to happen now because it's only going to get worse if we don't stop it.
Yeah, and China was much more belligerent after the May summit when President Trump went to Beijing. And by the way, when we talk about the Chinese killing Americans, we can't forget fentanyl. Last year, 48,000 Americans died in what we call overdoses, but really were murders because we know that the fentanyl gangs operate with both the knowledge and the approval and the support of the Chinese regime.
Wow. And Mexico would stop in 5 minutes if China told them to.
Absolutely. I mean, Mexico would not permit the cartels to have all those Chinese technicians. Chinese technicians are actually, in Mexico mixing the precursor compounds that come from China. So that is, they've sort of slowed it down a little bit, but it's still occurring. And any death is unacceptable.
I agree, Gordon. It's so eye-opening. You got to come back on again. We always love having you, Gordon. And boy, is that an important topic, too. Gordon, thank you so much. And again, as John was saying, check out your Twitter handle, Gordon G. Chang. Gordon is always on it with all of this important stuff. Thank you, Gordon, so much. And
have a great weekend, guys.
You too.
Thank you, Gordon.